Today should be celebrated by all that watch the NFL. Why? Because the NFL and the voters finally got it right. Josh Allen is your 2024-2025 NFL MVP. The guy that I told you is the most valuable player in the NFL today. Now, we can all celebrate. We can all Gronk spike the like button. And all the haters can jump in the comments and let me know why I'm wrong and why the voters should have voted Lamar Jackson. You know why they didn't vote Lamar Jackson? And don't get me wrong, I like me some Lamar. I like Lamar Jackson. Great quarterback. But Josh Allen didn't have an all-time running back in his backfield. Derrick Henry nearly went for a 2,000-yard historic season. He was nearly, if it were not for Saquon Barkley, the best running back in the NFL. And not only that, Lamar Jackson had 9 Pro Bowlers on his team? Josh Allen had one. Josh Allen is your 2024 MVP. And I'm happy. I'm making this video because they finally got one right. I thought they were going to have another year of getting it wrong. Another season. And I have said this, and I will state it again. Because now people are going to say, Mitch, I thought you didn't care about the MVP. I thought you didn't care after Brady lost in 2021. Bro, I don't care. All I care about is that Josh Allen won one. Because now we can't have the memes about how Josh Allen was drafted in 2018 and he hasn't accomplished anything in his career. That's BS, and you know it. Why is it BS? Because Josh Allen is the first quarterback in NFL history to have 40 touchdowns in 5 consecutive seasons. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5 consecutive seasons. Some may say that this was a pity MVP, and I could not disagree more. First of all, when it comes to being the most valuable player, I'm glad that the voters actually voted based on that, okay? Josh Allen is a human weapon in the red zone. He is a touchdown machine. He is the Buffalo Bills. Did you watch their defense in the playoffs? Nobody that is an actual casual NFL fan can name a single one of his wide receivers. Nobody before the season on ESPN, Fox, or any media outlet thought the team was going to be any good. A lot of people thought they wouldn't even make the playoffs. A lot of people thought that they wouldn't even be the best team in their own division. There were people out there that thought that JETS sucks would be better than the Buffalo Bills this year. There are people that thought the soft Miami Dolphins would be better than the Buffalo Bills this year. But you know why they weren't? Josh Allen. You know why the Buffalo Bills beat the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs? Because Josh Allen didn't choke like Lamar Jackson. But when we get into the MVP discussion, I am just glad that they made the right choice. They finally made the right choice with this man right here, Josh Allen, my favorite player in the league. He's been my favorite player since Tom retired. I'm happy to see it. This is a guy that got no offers in high school. This was a guy that people thought would be a bust in the NFL. But I told you way back in 2018, fresh-faced Mitch, I told you that he would be a stud, and he has become a stud. So I feel good, okay? I feel good. I deserve a pat on the back. Bills Mafia deserves a pat on the back. But most importantly, Haley Steinfeld deserves a pat on the back because this guy played absolutely nuclear football once he proposed. That being said, let's get into some of the accolades of Josh Allen this season because some don't understand why he won the MVP, so allow me to explain. Josh Allen had the fewest negative plays, turnovers, and sacks ever by a quarterback in a season with 450 plus attempts. He had the least amount of negative plays. And one of the most important things about playing quarterback is not only scoring touchdowns, which Josh Allen has done consistently, but limiting negatives. Scoring and limiting negatives, that is winning football, okay? Josh Allen had the fewest sacks, does not get sacked, does not turn it over in 2024, okay? No Bills wide receiver or running back on the team had 1,000 yards. The Ravens had their first ever Pro Bowl wide receiver named Zay Flowers this year. They had an all-time running back. They had 2 good tight ends. Mark Andrews very well as a Pro Bowler himself. Josh Allen had 40 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. Josh Allen is the second player in NFL history to have 28 passing touchdowns and 12 rushing touchdowns in a season. The other was Cam Newton in 2015. The Bills scored 30-plus points in 8 straight games. Every time that happened, the player won MVP. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady twice, Marshall Faulk, and now Josh Allen. Now, Josh Allen also did this with multiple weapons missing time. Amari Cooper not being on the team for most of the season. Dalton Kincaid missing time. Coleman missing time. It didn't matter. Allen had 18 total touchdowns in the month of December with only 1 turnover. That was the first player in NFL history with 18 or more touchdowns in a month with only 1 or fewer turnovers. I could keep going on. I mean, they scored the most points in franchise history. They won more games than Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow, or they had the same as Saquon. The Bills beat the Chiefs, who are in the Super Bowl, and they beat the number 1 seed Lions in the NFC. The Bills didn't have their number 1 wide receiver from 2023 or their number 2 wide receiver from 2023. They still made the AFC Championship. I wonder why. The defense was probably the worst of Josh Allen's career this year. Thinking about it, I would argue. Josh Allen had 13 different receivers catch a touchdown, which was tied for the most of all time. The Bills only had 1 wide receiver over 600 yards. I could keep going. But the fact of the matter is that Josh Allen deserved this MVP because, to me, he's a better football player than Lamar Jackson. He's proven to be better in bigger moments. He's a better thrower of the football, period. I think he does more with less. I think that he doesn't have to rely on running the ball all the time. He can throw it to win. He can run it to win. But the fact of the matter is Lamar has never been a volume passer and has never been a guy that has won a lot of games because he's throwing it a lot. He's a dynamic weapon, but a lot of that is based on his ability to run. And I think that the most important thing that a quarterback can do is throw to win and limit their turnovers in doing so. And I've always felt like Lamar's biggest weakness, and this is why I always feel like Lamar needs to prove more in the playoffs to me. And this is what I've kind of held Lamar back for, is every time in a big game when a team forces him to beat them with his arm, he struggles. It's rare, but it happens, and it's happened every playoffs. And I thought Lamar played well against the Bills in the playoff game, but I thought Josh Allen played better, and I thought that Josh Allen didn't make the mistakes that Lamar made. And I know that the MVP in the regular season has nothing to do with the postseason, but I think that game went a long way in truly solidifying this in my mind. But to me, like, I'm happy that Josh Allen got an award to solidify his place in the NFL, solidify his legacy to a certain degree. Because I kind of feel like without one of these awards, although it means nothing to me, it means a lot to other people and other fans. And I feel like the way this guy has played over the last few years, the way that this guy has made the Bills relevant, made the Bills one of the most exciting teams to watch on a weekly basis, made the Bills a franchise that basically is in the playoffs every year, a contender every year. He still has to go out and get that Super Bowl. I think he will at some point. And honestly, the way that I feel like he's carried his team over the past few years, and I honestly feel like he has carried his team more than Patrick Mahomes, more than Lamar Jackson, more than Joe Burrow, more than any quarterback in the league. I feel like Josh Allen carries his franchise, carries his team. Without Josh Allen, I don't think the Bills are a very good team. And I think that's what an MVP is. That's what a most valuable player award should justify. It shouldn't be all about the stats, even though we just went through a bunch of them. It should be about who's the most valuable player. And to me, year in, year out, over the past few years, yes, Mahomes is winning, but I mean, he's got the best franchise. To me, he's got the better general manager. He's had the better offensive lines for the most part. He's had the better receiving cores for the most part. He's had a Hall of Fame tight end. He's had a Hall of Fame receiver. He's had Andy friggin' Reid. He's had more consistent running games. He's had better defenses in big moments. I'm not so sure that if Josh Allen weren't a Chief that he would have 3 Super Bowls. Maybe 4 coming up. But I'm just happy that Josh Allen finally has a accolade to put on his mantle and say, like 10, 20 years from now, we can say Josh Allen won an MVP. You know what I'm saying? Even if he doesn't go on to win more, at least he won this one to the point where like it could justify his body of work so far. And like, that's what I'm happy about more than anything, because I think, and hopefully Joe Burrow gets one too, because I think Joe Burrow's in that class. Lamar has 2 already. And to me, like, Lamar has not been a more valuable player to his team than Josh Allen the last 2 years. I thought Josh should have won the award last year. He had more yards. He had more touchdowns. You know, Lamar actually had the stats to back up his claim this year. But when you're talking about who's the most valuable player, people were talking about the Ravens going to the Super Bowl. People were talking about the Ravens in the AFC Championship. They didn't make it that far. They actually disappointed. People were talking about Derrick Henry and Lamar and how much damage that would do. Right? Like, that was the best defense in the NFL down the stretch, statistically, the Ravens. The Bills kind of regressed down the stretch. Josh Allen was the most valuable player. And you watch that with your eyes week in and week out. And that's why he's the MVP. So I'm glad that the NFL finally got something right. You guys let me know how you feel in the comment section below. It's Mitch. I wanted to quickly rant off the dome about this. Let me know if you're happy about Josh winning the MVP, if you thought someone else should have won the MVP. At the end of the day, this is a quarterback award. I don't think Saquon Barkley was ever truly in the running to win this award. I feel like 15 years ago, he might have won the award. Saquon definitely deserves some award, Offensive Player of the Year. I would also say, like, Saquon Barkley, love the guy. One of my favorite players. Hope he wins the Super Bowl. Hope he wins the Super Bowl MVP. But even with Saquon, it's like he has one of the best O-lines of all time. He wasn't looking like this when he was in New York. So, like, I get that running back is more dependent on other positions and things like that, but that's exactly it. It's the most valuable player award. And Josh Allen could go on any team and take them to the playoffs, and that's what I believe. So that's why he's the most valuable player. That's why he's the MVP of 2024-2025. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.